What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome all my new subscribers. As always, I want to take a second and thank each and every single one of you guys that take the time out of your day to watch and support my channel. It means the world to me. In this video, everybody, we are going to be taking a look at the Shinemate ERO600 G2 polisher. Now, I was fortunate enough, I received this polisher in a care package from Chris over at Carzilla. So huge shout out to Chris over at Carzilla, Calgary out in Canada. He's got some fantastic products. I'll make sure to leave the link to his site down below, but he's where I get my coating towels from. I had an issue with my Shinemate EX620 kind of making a weird noise on me, and when I contacted him, he had no problem sending me out a replacement unit. And in that box came this polisher as well. Now this is their entry-level polisher. Nothing crazy, but we're going to be taking a look at this. Initial thoughts. We'll put it on a test panel. I'll give you guys my feedback on it. Is it a good entry-level polisher for those that are starting out that want to maybe get into polishing and they don't have the money for a really expensive polisher? This one comes in right out at about 124 bucks on his site. So that's really not that bad for an entry-level polisher. So we're going to put it through the paces, and obviously this is a short-term test. I can't tell you how long it's going to last, but we'll also be swapping out the grease on this thing because I love to swap out the grease in all my polishers with some really good high-temp lithium grease, because the stuff that comes in these things isn't really that great at all. So let's unbox this thing. I'll show you guys what you're going to get. So here is the unit itself. Comes with a nice 5-inch backplate. Some decent free spin there. Nice vented holes for nice air circulation. It's got your vent here. It's got a vent here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Vents under the bottom. Not sure how long the cord is, but it is a decent length for sure. Probably say anywhere from 8 to 10 feet. Don't quote me on that. I wasn't expecting this polisher, but we're gonna give it a shot, and this might be a great entry-level option. Power on trigger here. Kind of gotta push it up and in to lock it. It does have a soft start feature, and I believe this is, let's see, 600 watts, max 900 watts. This is a 9mm polisher. So you got a nice 9mm throw, nothing crazy. Plastic feels decent. It's got the nice double shot rubber here on the top. I really like that. It's actually pretty comfortable in the hand. I don't know if you guys can see right here, but it's got a nice curved top portion here where you can wrap your fingers around, and that rubber on the top seems pretty nice. So that overall, first impressions for an entry-level polisher, this seems really nice. So we got that in the kit. Then you're going to get your Shinemate book. This comes with pretty much everything you need to know about all the Shinemate products. Got a lot of stuff. And if you guys follow along the channel, you know I love my EX620 15mm. Oh, and it's got it right here. So it's got it ranked 3rd here, the ERO600 out of, so it's a mid-range polisher for the Shinemate line. Got your book, tells you everything about the polishers. Oh, it says it right here. Let's see, it's 2.1 kilograms. The threads M8. 9mm, rated 600 watts, max 900. No load speed, 2500 to 6500 per minute. Foam, wool pad, 140 millimeters, 150 millimeters, 5.5 inch to 6 inch. Okay, all right. That's pretty cool. It does come with your Allen wrench and an extra set of brushes here, just in case your brushes get worn out and you want to change those out. You can change those out. Not bad, honestly. So let's get this thing. I'm curious. I want to know how this thing sounds. I want to know how it runs. I want to know how it feels in my hands on the paint. And then we'll go ahead and take it apart. We'll swap out the grease. That way it's got some good grease in it. And then we'll basically give an overall, short-term initial thoughts on the ERO600 entry-level polisher from Shinemate. All right, everybody. I've got my test hood set up here. I just want to put this on a panel. I kind of want to put it through its paces. I want to see what the power's like. I want to see how smooth it is. I want to see how comfortable it is. Not really worried about defect removal, guys, here. I just want to get an initial feel for this polisher and see what it could do. So I've got my ERO600 here. Just got a medium cut pad on it. Now it does have the soft start feature, as you guys can hear. When you click it on, it slowly ramps up so you don't just instantly fling polish everywhere. And if you're a detailer, you've done it. I don't care who you are. Now, one thing I didn't mention was it does have the dials on the back. Not really a fan of that. I'd really like to see the dials on the back of the machine. But this is an entry-level machine. It's not a make or break. It's just you got to go to the back and set your speed. And if you're polishing like this, you got to look back to see what speed you're on. So, not really my preferred method, but can't knock it till you try it, guys. So we're going to start on speed 2. Got a little bit of my fab polish here. We're just going to put a little bit on the pad. Now what I'll do is, actually we'll start at speed 1. We'll start at speed 1 and then we'll work our way through the speeds. If it gets a little loud, I apologize. My first impression, the design of the head of this polisher is legit. It's actually really comfortable. So we're gonna kick it up to speed 2, and then you'll hear me go up 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll bring it back down to a working area where I feel comfortable, and then yeah. Not bad at all. That is actually really impressive. Once you get up to speed 4, speed 3 is okay. Once you get up to speed 4, power really starts to kick in. 5 and 6, I mean, I was pushing down on this thing and it was not stalling one bit. I don't have any curves. I got some curves and contours over here. Actually gonna test it out over here. You guys probably can't see it. Let me switch you guys back a little bit over here. I've got a nice curve over here. I want to see if it'll stall. Okay, that's impressive. Give me a second. Let me angle you guys down real quick. All right, so I've got this edge here. And normally, when you come up, it'll sense that edge and it'll stall, but let's see. Speed 4. Okay, so speed 4 does stall a little bit, but it still keeps spinning. Speed 5. Speed 5 is a powerhouse on this thing. Holy cow. That is freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. Now, I'm going to get this wiped off and we're going to jump into some final thoughts. All right, everybody. A quick little final thoughts segment, kind of recap on the Shinemate ERO600 G2 5-inch entry-level polisher. Now, you guys, you can't expect much from a entry-level kind of mid-range polisher just to get in the game. This thing is legit. Now, obviously, I cannot speak for longevity, and if you're using it every day and doing 4 cars a day, I can't speak for that. This is just my initial thoughts, my initial opinion, coming from somebody. I wish they had this when I first started polishing. This thing is a powerhouse. Super comfortable here on the grip and the back right here. It's actually pretty light, to be honest. My first polisher was a Chicago Electric from Harbor Freight, and this thing is by far leaps better than my Chicago Electric. But I still got it done, and this is a perfect polisher for those that are just looking to getting into polishing and they want their first polisher. Hands down, I would recommend this polisher. This thing is a powerhouse. Once you get to speed 4, this thing has got power. Speed 5, whoo! Speed 5, I mean, I was leaning it. It wasn't stalling on the edge. Powerhouse. I was putting down some serious pressure on the top, and it was not stalling at all. Fantastic little polisher here. The cord, I measured the cord, and it tapped out my tape measure over 16 feet. So it's got a nice long cord. Little rubber here on the back. The cons, not really a con, but just preference. The dial on the back, not really a fan of that. I wish they would have put it somewhere here where you can at least move it with your thumb and see where you're at speed-wise versus having to, you know, look at the back. But that's not a huge deal breaker for me. I would absolutely recommend this. I mean, double stamp Smurf of approval. This thing is a powerhouse. For sure. Now, let's jump into something that I like to do with all my polishers, and that is re-grease my polishers. I like to swap out the grease that comes in these because they don't really come with quality grease in the heads. So I'm going to get you guys set up on my cart right here. It's going to be a downward angle. You're not really going to be seeing much of me. You'll see my hands. And I'm going to go through the steps and processes to take the polisher apart. Most polishers, it's the exact same process. I've re-greased every single one of my polishers, and I will re-grease this one as well. So I'm going to get you guys set up. I'll take you through the steps of re-greasing the polisher, and we'll get it re-greased and ready for use. All right, everybody, so we've got our Shinemate polisher here. I'm going to be utilizing the Allen wrench that comes with it. First things first. Let's go ahead and get this back plate off of here. Very, very simple. That will reveal the counterweight. And you can see here it's got 3 Allen screws. Sometimes these screws are Phillips head screws. Sometimes they're Allen screws. Sometimes they're hex screws. In this case, they are Allen screws. Got a little Allen wrench here to fit them. Now be careful with these because they can be extremely tight. So you just have to be careful. I like the fact that they put Allen screws in here because Phillips screws can strip very easily, especially if they use the cheap stuff. So we're going to break these loose. I'm going to get these off of here. Now, some might ask, you know, why swap the grease out? Well, the stuff that comes in these from the factory, I mean, that's probably the last thing they're worried about is quality grease because they got to cut costs. Make sure you set your screws somewhere where you don't lose them because then you'll be screwed. Go ahead and get these out of here. Sure do wish I had my mini snap-on set. I could have, in my impact, I could have had these out in 0.2 seconds, but we're doing this the old-fashioned way by hand, so I'm not going to fast forward. I'm not going to skip. So for those of you that want to know, just skip forward. I want to show this real time, how easy it is to re-grease these things. I might skip me cleaning it out because that's pretty straightforward. It does have a little bit of, looks like Loctite or some kind of something on the threads. But that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and remove that counterweight. Set it in here. Now you can see in here, you've got 4 Phillips head screws in here. We're going to remove those. Oh, these are long. 1. 2. It is New Year's Eve right now, guys, and I'm hoping you guys are all out there having a safe one. All right, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, okay, so the shroud on this one doesn't come off, but that's not a problem. We're going to take these side set screws out. They're just plastic. Be very careful when putting these back in because you don't want to strip those threads out. They can strip out very easily. Got those out. We're going to slide this head off here. I'm going to dump out our Phillips. And then you're left with this. You can see right here, this is where it separates. So I'm just going to put a little flathead in there. And we're going to separate. Actually, I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark on the side, if I can get a marker here. I'm just going to mark on the side here. Just going to put a little marking right there. Just because I want to put it back in the same spot that I took it out of. It could just be me. I could just be being paranoid, but when I take things apart, I like to put them back in the same spot they came out of. That's just me. So we'll pop this up here and you can see just a little wiggle and it wants to pop up. Boom. Just like that. Now look at how dry that gear is. Yep. We don't want dry gears, guys. We don't want dry gears. And that's what's left on the inside. I don't know what kind of grease this is, but we're going to get rid of that. We're going to put our own grease in there. So, a couple dirty rags over here that you don't care about because we just toss them afterwards. You basically just clean this out as much as you can. And then we'll come back once I clean this all out. I do have some Q-tips. Take some Q-tips. That'll help you get everything out of there. Get this all cleaned out, and then we'll come put some grease in. So we'll be back in just a second after we clean this out. All right, everybody. So I went ahead. I've got my polisher all cleaned out. The old grease as best as I could. You're never going to get every speck out of it. Got the gears cleaned off. I did find out that I can get the shroud off. I just had to get it in the right spot, the right angle on the dangle. But we got all of our old grease pulled out of this thing. Now it's time to put our new grease in. It's very simple. Go ahead and take it in, pack it in there. Now you don't want to overpack it. You don't want to go too crazy in here. Just enough to get in there, cover the gears. Tuck it in the little nooks and crannies. I try to keep away from the center because that's where the bearing goes. So I try to keep the center clear. I do like that it has a sealed bearing here around the gear. Almost, that's about good here. Always keep microfibers handy. I'm telling you, this is kind of a messy job. I mean, that should be plenty of grease there. Just like that. You don't want to go too crazy. And then what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of grease and I just like to kind of cover the gears. Just in between the gears, just like this. I just put a thin layer here on the gears. Nothing insanely crazy, but very simple. Sorry guys, the camera works terrible. Shoddy camera work. Thanks, Smurf. Just like that. Just a little bit of. This camera is terrible at focusing. But yeah, so very simple, nothing crazy at all. Get it to focus on the gears. Just like that. There you go. And that's pretty much it. I do like to, before I put it back on, I like to come in here and kind of clean up right around the edge. That way I don't have anything coming out of the sides. If you got to take some more Q-tips, that's fine. Just clean up the edges a little bit. That way when you come back in and put it in, you get anything squirting out the sides or anything like that. So that's that. Then we'll come back in. We'll match up our side. Drop that back in. Like so. Boom. Then we'll go ahead and slide this cover on. Now that's how I figured out how to put it on, was to get it on there like that. Just got to get the right angle on the dangle. And then we'll start our basically reassembly process. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start these all individually, and then you want to tighten them in a star pattern, a crisscross pattern. Because if you go one side, then you tighten the other side, and you want to make sure that they're even. So get this in here. Shoddy camera work again. Sorry, guys. Take that. Get this in there like so. It's a very, very simple. If I wasn't filming, it'd probably take me 15 minutes, 20 max. But it's just a good way to make sure you got grease in there that you know you can trust, you know you can depend on. You don't know what kind of grease that comes in these things from the factory. So it's something that I like to do with all my units that I get, just to ensure proper grease, proper lubrication for the lifespan of that polisher. Let's get these in here. Make sure those are tight. Make sure that's tight. Make sure that's nice and tight. That's tight. All right, got these in there. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and put our counterweight back on. Now, some of these you can remove the counterweight, but on this particular one, I didn't need to. This one actually has a pin in the back here, so you can hold it and you can turn this counterweight, lock it in, and then spin this counterweight off the shaft. But I didn't need to do that on this one. Some of the other ones you might need to do that. This one, I did not need to do that. So, there we go. We got one in there. Two in there. We got three. We're going to tighten these down. And what you can do is you can push this pin in the back once you get the top off. This is going to lock this in place. And then you can use that to lock the back, lock it, so when you tighten it, you don't have to hold it to spin it. Whoa, still got grease on my fingers. Bear with me, folks. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this tightened up. Now don't go too crazy on this. They're not made to be super torqued, but you want to make sure you get them in. Don't cross thread them. The threads are very delicate. It's aluminum, it's soft. Take your time. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. Boom, nice and tight. There we go. Now, take our back plate. Get this thing on there. Once again, you can use that button in the bottom to, oh, no, not for the back plate. Just hold the back plate, give it a nice umph. There you go. You got a nice re-greased polisher ready to do some work. Go ahead and slide your cover back on. Put your bolts in the side. Remember, these are plastic. Don't go crazy. They can easily strip out. There you go. Shinemate ERO600 greased and ready for work. Let's jump into a quick final thoughts. Alrighty, folks, that pretty much wraps up the video. Quick final thoughts, fantastic little polisher. I walked you guys through how I re-grease my polishers. It's pretty much the same process on every single polisher that you do. As you can see, when I took the housing off, at first I couldn't get it off. I just pulled it off with it, but it does come off if you rotate. If you rotate it and pull it off, the housing will come off. But it's pretty much the same process on each polisher. I've done all mine. Put some good grease in there. Make sure you got some good grease, just so it's ready for its work life. But fantastic polisher here, guys. Plenty powerful, ergonomical, comfortable. A few little minor cons, nothing crazy. But I would highly recommend this polisher to anybody starting out in the detailing that wants to learn how to polish, for sure. Check it out at Carzilla. I'll leave the link at Carzilla for you guys to check out this polisher. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And if you guys have any questions about either the re-grease process, just leave them in the comments. You know, I'll answer you guys. Fantastic little polisher, fantastic unit. Head over and check it out at Carzilla. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. I want to take a second and say thank you guys, and I appreciate all you guys that take the time out of your day to watch and support my channel. It means the world to me. I hope all you guys out there have a fantastic day, night, evening, whatever it is where you're at right now watching. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Or if you want to win this polisher, because guess what? Smurf's giving this polisher away. Yes, sir, I'm giving it away to one of you guys. For those of you guys that stay tuned to the end of my videos, if you want a chance to win this polisher, drop a comment below. And in your comment, it's got to say hashtag Smurf for President. That's what it's got to say down in your comment. Today is it's New Year's Eve right now, December 31st. I'm going to let this run for a week. And next Sunday, the 7th, Smurf is going to be back for a live stream giveaway announcement. I will pick the winner on a live stream on January 7th. So this is going to run for a week. So if you want a chance to win this polisher, you leave a comment below. But in that comment, it's got to say hashtag Smurf for President. You got to be in the United States. You got to be subscribed to my channel. If you're not, then what are you guys doing? So yeah, best of luck to the winners. Hashtag Smurf for President. Good luck. See you guys next Sunday, January 7th, for the live stream reveal of the winner of this polisher.